broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play, check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR-TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too. Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This is Finish Line.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.
This is Finish Line. Undisputed, unrealistic, unscripted, and unrehearsed. This is Finish Line, a weekly podcast talking about the positive and negative of motorsports, asking the questions to drivers, promoters, and personalities, getting the information and responses of the sport others dare not to ask or even discuss. This is Finish Line. This radio podcast is from the heart, an in-depth analysis of everything in NASCAR, NHRA, IHRA, IndyCar, grassroots motorsports, asphalt, dirt, drag racing, karting, tractor pulling, boat racing, demolition derbies, and much more. From touring events to national, regional, weekly, and more. This is the podcast where the bull stops here. Whether it's asphalt, dirt, or drag racing, or anything else in life, there is always a finish line. Now, he's a respected veteran broadcaster with over 20-plus years experience calling all forms of sports for public address, TV, and radio, from NASCAR to the grassroots. Please welcome your host, Wesley Outland. This is Finish Line.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Finish Line. We're ready to go here. Fox Sports Radio affiliates across the Carolinas, iHeartRadio on the Community Radio Network, and we're back on video again. Charles Wooten is back to feeling better. He might chime in and talk today. Charles, how you doing, brother, in Texas? And by the way, normally you're getting bad weather. I'm getting bad weather today. So hopefully we got our fingers crossed. Hopefully I got our fingers crossed that we're going to be all right and get through this window, man. But it's good to have you back. It's just not the same. You spoiled us for the September with not having the video format. Can you hear us? Are you going to talk to the people? He said, I hear you, but I don't want to talk to the people. So, hey, there's a lot of great things going on. I mean, you got Eldora.
I know he loves his dirt track racing. He might chime in now. You got the $1 Million Dream. It kicks off tonight. They're doing a complete facelift of the racetrack. I don't know if we could get Charles to talk about that with me in the segment here in a little bit, but nonetheless, we're ready to go. It is the Wednesday, June the 8th edition of Finish Line. We are in our second show for the month of June 2022. Again, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten is pushing the buttons in our production studio for Rocket Media Live Sim Racing LSR Productions. And of course, hey, we're ready to go. We got a great show for you. Getting ready to join us in just a couple of moments. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank. We're going to recap events and winners from this previous weekend. We're going to set the stage for some big races this weekend. And, of course, none bigger than the of course, World of Outlaw Sprint Cars at Knoxville. And in addition to that, you have the Dirt Late Model Dream. Charles, jump in here with me, man. First time since 2001, over $1 million to win starting tonight at Eldora. A midweek show. What do you think of that, paying that kind of money for a midweek show?
It's Tony Stewart. He can do whatever he wants.
That's true. Yes, that's true. We'll talk about Eldora. We're, a matter of fact, going to get the winner of the $1 Million Dream on Finish Line next Wednesday, amongst a whole other great things as well. Hey, we're not going to waste no time. We're ready to get this thing started. Our guests are starting to connect, and let's give you your guest lineup for today, June 8th, Finish Line. In the background, what's in the background here? Beautiful background. Gateway International Raceway. Somebody took a screenshot of that from the beautiful Nightfall from a race. I think it was the IndyCar race a couple of years ago. Last year, I think it was. Of course, NASCAR was there this past weekend. We're going to get things started here in just a few moments. Connecting to us is going to be Jeff Striegle of the Motor Racing Network and Berlin Raceway. He's going to talk about Money in the Bank. It is round number 2 of the SRL National Tour. They've not ran an SRL National Tour event since February when they were at, of course, Citrus County in Inverness, Florida. Ty Majeski won that event. Ty Majeski's there. There's a whole bunch of big buzz and vibes about it. And Jeff Striegle will be joining us here in just a couple of minutes. Corey Heim out of Marietta, Georgia for Kyle Busch Motorsports in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Winner over the weekend. Of course, he won at Atlanta. He also won at Gateway or at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He joins us to talk about his victory. And the Cars Tour winner at Hampton Langley Speedway, Brenden Queen. Butterbean Brenden Queen joining us here in hour number 1. That's just hour number 1. We go right into hour number 2. Rockbridge, Bath, Virginia winner at County Line Raceway with the I-95 Late Model Challenge Series. Tyler Bear will be joining us, of course, the son of Booper Bear, one of the greats of super late model racing in the Southeast. A man that has not won in close to 16 years. The veteran driver went to victory lane this past Saturday night at Caraway Speedway, and just an all-around super great guy. Donnie Apple in the car number 88. Donnie Apple is going to be joining us via phonecast at, of course, 2:20 Eastern Time. And our final guest, because we do got to keep this within a 2-hour window today, my partner and colleague and producer-director Charles has other things he's got to take care of. Ross Boo Boo Dalton. Ross Dalton overcoming a crazy crash back at Greenville Pickens earlier a couple of months ago. Had to go through rehabilitation, had to go through getting the cars rebuilt, building his psyche back up, getting that mindset back. He goes to victory lane. He picks up a big win this past 2 weeks at Goodyear Memorial Day weekend on a technicality to the tech, and then, of course, winning in dominating fashion one of the late model races at Caraway. We're going to talk to him coming up. So, hey, by the way, speaking of Caraway Speedway, we've got a big thing planned for the end of June. We want you to join us June 29th for Finish Line, live on location at Caraway Speedway. We're still ironing out all the details, but our plan is to actually have a live video production from Caraway Speedway before the midweek show of the 16th annual Daggett and Schuler Attorney at Law Rusty Hart Memorial. Charles, how different would it be from being live in studio like we are now to doing it live at the racetrack, bud? What type of logistics?
You give me cameras and internet, we're good to go.
There you go. We'll make sure we give you cameras and internet. We got our first guest lined up now? I believe so. Well, let's get things kicked off. And there he is. Yes, sir, he is. He was actually texting me yesterday, wondering how he could connect and get connected. And I told him it's very easy. A caveman can do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, taking a few moments out of his very busy schedule, especially today, for the Money in the Bank SRL National Tour event, and of course with the Motor Racing Network, is Jeff Striegle. Berlin Raceway. Berlin Raceway is the place to be tonight, Jeff. Thanks for being on Finish Line. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Well, good afternoon to you. I will say this, it will be the place to be tonight if we can get the weather to move out of the area. I was going to do this from just outside on one of our verandas that's just outside of our suites. However, we were fortunate and we just put the track under the green flag. So we've got practice going on right now, qualifying scheduled to go off at 5:30, first race at 6:30, but all of that will be contingent on the rain that we have moving into the area. So we'll have to wait and see.
So before we go any further, Jeff, what's the backup plan? Because I have been to Berlin Raceway before several years for Money in the Bank, and obviously you guys in NASCAR, every effort will be made in your power to try to get that race in on schedule tonight, or if it's on delay, try to change the schedule a little bit.
We are going to try to get it in. We can go late. We'd rather go late than go tomorrow. We do have the Michigan International Speedway jet dryer here, and it's ready to go if we need it. I think it's safe to say we're going to need it. There's no doubt about that. So we'll do everything we can to get it in tonight. We want to get everybody on the road. We don't want to have them have to incur another hotel bill or food or whatever the expenses are when they travel. Now, if we do have to pull the plug, then we're just going to re-rack it and do it all tomorrow, and the green flag will fly on Thursday rather than tonight at 6:30.
And honestly, Jeff, that's the smart thing to do. I mean, this is pretty much round 2 of the SRL National Tour. This is a pretty big race. I mean, this is a big race. Money in the Bank is like the Battle at Berlin. They are the 2 biggest super late model races you have all year. And you've got drivers from all over the country that are here. You've got Californians. You've got drivers from Florida, up from the Midwest to the Northeast to the Southeast. So it is logistically more smart to say, okay, we got to pause because of weather. We're all here. Let's just reset and go racing the next day.
Well, we've also got William Byron here, Wesley, as you know. He's got to be in Sonoma. Eric Jones is here. He's got to be in Sonoma. Ty Majeski is here. He's got to be in Sonoma. So we've talked to them. I think we can probably plan on all 3 of them coming back tomorrow if we need to. We don't want to, but if we had to, we could. You're right, we've got drivers from all over the country. Nova Scotia, Canada, Cole Butcher. We've got a driver from Oregon that made the trip up, Texas, Florida. They're here from everywhere. This is as good a field of super late model cars as I've seen in a long, long time, here or anywhere.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. 30-plus super late models ready to go to racing. If you're channel surfing, of course, on Flow Racing, and you're going back and forth from the over $1 million dream at Eldora that we were talking about earlier when we came on the air for Finish Line, I encourage you also to go back and forth and check out the action from Berlin Raceway, as Flow Racing will have coverage of that event. We're with Jeff Striegle of Berlin Raceway. Jeff, let's go into your job, because you have a crazy schedule as it is. You're one of the lead co-anchors on Motor Racing Network with Alex Hayden, the voice of NASCAR. MRN goes all over the country. You just come back from Gateway or Worldwide Technology Raceway, where Corey Heim is going to be joining us in a few moments, who was the truck race winner. And then, somehow, some way, you try to balance all of that and operate a racetrack. And obviously, I would say it takes a great team to keep Berlin Raceway going too, doesn't it, Jeff?
You hit the nail on the head. You can't do anything without a good team. I've got a really good team here. I'm not here on Saturday. I work during the week, and sometimes it's a very short week for me. If I happen to be going out on Thursday, I don't get home until Monday. Realistically, that puts me here Tuesday and Wednesday. But if you surround yourself with good people, good things are going to happen. We've got a lot of good things happening here, whether it be fan related, competitor related, community related. I'm proud of what we have. I'm proud of the people that are working here. And when we're all working together, good things happen.
I hear the rumble of those super late models in the background around Berlin Raceway for sure. And, of course, it's good to hear that sound. And, listen, it's been since 2021 since the last time I've been to Berlin Raceway, or 2020, I think is the last time I went, 2019 and 2020. So, you've done a phenomenal job of the racetrack. And a lot of people might not know, you were the 2021 Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Track Champion, which means $50,000 got put towards Berlin Raceway. Well, let's see here. Before then, you already had the video boards. You already had some of the amenities and the suites. What all else have you done to the racetrack? And, of course, if people do go to Berlin Raceway, they can be able to check out a lot of the cool things you've done so far. That'll be available for tonight.
Well, and you would notice it just by being absent for a year. If you weren't here last year, there's a lot that you will see that's brand new. I think the thing that we're all proud of is our outdoor lounge area. It's a Key West style, outdoor lights, band stage, outdoor bar, fire pit, plenty of lean-to areas so you can have a beer, watch the race, watch the band, whatever you want to do. We've got a brand new outdoor cooking area with a smoker so we can do food outside that you might not typically see at a local concession stand. We have just completed our brand new deck, hospitality deck outside of turn number 2, over 6,000 square feet, 100% composite deck from our friends from Beta Bay Building Concepts. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. We've done a lot of cleanup, a lot of improvements, and I think that anybody that hasn't been here in over a year is going to walk in and go, wow, there's a lot of good, cool, new things going on at Berlin Raceway.
Got about 10 more minutes with Jeff Striegle of the Motor Racing Network and Berlin Raceway. And we might talk a little bit about NASCAR, but this is more about Berlin Raceway and the SRL National Tour event going on. But as you know, Jeff, when you are up in the booth, you have somebody in your ear telling you when to go to break, when to say, what not to say. And I've got my producer in Texas, Charles Wooten's got a question for you here on Finish Line.
Well, he did a perfect segue for me here with talking about the partying and stuff. So my question is that bottle in the back a bottle of champagne for the winner of the race?
I didn't realize you could see that. That's a great question. That bottle of champagne, I don't know that anybody would want to drink it. I believe that bottle of champagne goes back to 2016. That is... I own Super Lates here at the Berlin Raceway, and we were fortunate enough to win a couple of championships. And as we got closer to that night, knowing that we may be winning a championship, our team would always put together our own custom labeled bottles of champagne. And I believe there's 2 of them sitting up there, but again, they're more decoration than they are to uncork it and drink it, because I don't think anybody wants to do that. Not good stuff, I'm sure.
There you go, Charles. So, again, none for you. Don't even try to attempt to ask him for a sip, for sure, definitely. You have to settle for chips, exactly. So a nice ice-cold beverage is available, though. But remember, please do drink responsibly. Jeff, what does it mean to – there you go. Yeah, I mean, well, you're a Diet Pepsi guy. I am a regular Pepsi guy, so we'll give some love to them as well. Of course, I think Pepsi is the official soft drink at Berlin Raceway as well. So, Jeff, what does it mean to you with all of the successes and things you've done? I mean, and you've got an impressive resume for what you've done at, Michigan, to doing stuff with MRN, to helping out with race teams, to now being a general manager of Berlin Raceway and operating the racetrack, plus having that crazy logistical MRN traveling schedule. I know you're a big love of racing. You love racing near and dear to your heart, not just NASCAR. What does it mean to have the opportunity to run a great place like Berlin Raceway? Because if you think of Marne, Michigan, you think of decades and decades of great racing heritage up there in the Midwest from like probably May to September.
7 decades to be exact. We kick off our 72nd season.
Wow.
People ask me that question that you just did, and the answer is really simple, and it's a passion. I came here when I was 10 years old when my dad brought me here, and we sat in the grandstands. And it's the first time I ever saw, a real live stock car race, and I was hooked. And we kept coming back. And then I wanted to be involved in a different way, and we bought a race car, and we went racing. Had a family, had to get out of it. Didn't want to get out of the business, so we went to PA. PA went to radio. Opportunities existed to be able to own race cars, and I still today own one. And so when they approached me to say, would you like to come and oversee the facility, they had asked me 2 or 3 years in a row, and I've always said no. And when they came to me in December of a year ago, I said, I'll do it, but you've got to understand that when I got to go on the road to MRN, and I hope you can hear me because it is loud.
Yeah, I can hear you. I love that sound in the background.
It's probably Boris Yurkovich. His super late model is louder than anybody else's, but it's also fast. But, the bottom line was I said I would do it, but it'd have to be in the time constraints that I can give you. They agreed. And I'll tell you, that's a really cool thing and a really bad thing all at the same time, because I've only been to 2 races so far this year, and we have been open since middle of April. But I'm on the road. They know I'm on the road, but yet at the same time, I hate it because we work hard during the week, and I get on an airplane on Thursday and I fly away. And while I can talk to them throughout the weekend, it's not the same as of being here and helping. So I'm grateful to be here today. Hopefully we can get this race in. I'll be here this weekend. We got sprint cars coming in. So I love it. It's a passion, and that's the reason I do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff, you've got a very, very busy month of June, July scheduled. You've got the Money in the Bank. It all leads up to the Battle at Berlin, which is another SRL National Tour event. You also have the Sprint Car 500 Tour that is coming off of their big little 500 at Anderson, Indiana. We had a Tyler Rohrig on finish line last week who won that second back-to-back event for him in Indiana during the Memorial Day weekend. And then, of course, I think of ARCA. You got the ARCA Menard Series National Tour coming there for a big event. A lot of great things on the horizon at Berlin Raceway, the place to be up in Martin, Michigan for 2022. And I'll say this, Jeff, midweek shows, I really have got to give props to promoters that do midweek shows. We talk about your race tonight for Money in the Bank. The last time I was there, the Money in the Bank was actually on a Monday afternoon, which is technically still a midweek show or still a weekday show, not a weekend event. You look at what Eldora is doing for the Dirt Late Model Dream. The $1 Million Dream is back, and that's a midweek show. They're racing for $1 million to win tonight and Thursday, and then they're doing the regular Dirt Late Model Dream format on Friday and Saturday. And I think that's going to get more butts in the seats, get a lot more cars. I think the last time I looked at the entry list, they're up to 120 cars. So do you think race promoters, Jeff, should take the gamble of doing more midweek races instead of just the cliche of Friday and mostly Saturday night?
Oh, I think you have to. I think you've got to look at every option to see what's going to attract a fan, what's going to attract a competitor. We can put all the money in the world up for a Saturday night and say, you got a $50,000 to win late model show. But if you've got late models running at their home track or in their home side of the country, down the southeast, out west, you put all the money up in the world, they're not going to show. So one of the things that I can tell you right now, Ty Majeski and I had the conversation early in the season before the schedule was put out. And Wesley, he made it very clear. He goes, if you guys run a midweek show, I'll be there. If you guys can't do it for one reason or another, he goes, I won't be there. This is before he had the truck deal. Now that he's got the truck deal, he really can't do it as much as he wants to. So I think for us, it was a no-brainer. We're going to continue to try to promote and support this Wednesday night opportunity. Obviously, the drivers like it. They're here. They're ready to go. So we need to see what the fans like. Based on what we're seeing, hearing, they're going to be turning out tonight. If both those things work, this will be a Wednesday night show for years to come.
And, of course, as always, you can follow the Berlin Raceway social media, berlinraceway.com, and, of course, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-the-minute information leading up to the weather situation. And, of course, you got Jeff Striegle here letting you know here on Finish Line, every effort will be made possible to get the races in. And, by the way, when you got a jet dryer from a NASCAR track, that goes a long way than having, tow trucks and tires and maybe just having the race cars go out there with the exhaust to make the track get dried. A few more minutes with Jeff Striegle. We got Corey Heim coming up. He is, of course, the winner of the Toyota 200 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway that you and Alex and the rest of the crew called on MRN on Saturday. Before we get Corey coming up here in a few minutes, Jeff, can you give us an update on Carson Hocevar? I know that he is a friend of yours from Michigan, from Portage, Michigan. He was going to be running the Van Dorn Racing 71. I know that now Derek Griffith is now behind the wheel of that car, which who better to have than to fill in his shoes than that? But Carson Hocevar had a pretty scary accident on the overtime finish of the truck race. Can you give us any update on how the young man's doing?
I will give you the update, and I will also defer to the family and to Nice to give a official update. Now that makes it sound bad, but I'm going to spin it. It's actually good. He is doing well. I talked to both him and his dad yesterday. Obviously, they did withdraw from the Money in the Bank. I can tell you that they are feeling good. They're moving forward, but they do need to, just make sure as to where they're at. Yes, I'm being a little evasive, but the bottom line is, Wesley, they are doing good. Will he be in a truck this weekend? Debatable. Still up is a debate, but I think that you're going to see a release coming from the team or from the family here very shortly. The bottom line is he's on the road to a quick, healthy recovery and should be back and ready to go 100% very soon.
Yeah, it's good. That's great news. And, of course, Derek Griffith will be behind the wheel of that car for the Van Dorn Racing Team. And you think of what Carson Hocevar has done being behind the wheel of driving the 71. He won, of course, the Slinger Nationals last year at Slinger, Wisconsin. He turned around and he won the Winchester 400 in Winchester, Indiana. So there's a lot of good successes for this young man. Jeff, what is it? I think we're trying to get Corey Heim here connected here, so we'll stay with you a few more minutes. What does it mean to you of seeing these young Midwest drivers like the Carson Hocevars, or, I think of him, or I think of, we look at what William Byron's at in NASCAR. You look at Eric Jones. He's also on the field to run the battle or the Berlin Money in the Bank race tonight or tomorrow. These young super late model drivers getting the opportunity to now run NASCAR on the national level. Do you think we're going to see a resurgence of a lot more younger drivers in the sport climbing the ladder soon?
Yes, 100% yes. I mean, all you got to do is, maybe look at, oh my gosh, I'm going to draw the name of the blank, right, or the name of the track, Millbridge. Look at Millbridge and what they're doing.
Millbridge Speedway.
You talk about young, talented race car drivers that are going to go race head-to-head with Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. And, if they're that good, they can get to that point, right?
Sure.
I think we all get the fact that there are more young race car drivers today than ever before. Obviously, it takes money to get to the next level and then get to the next level again, but I think the next NASCAR superstar is at your local short track. We've got a kid out here, Aaron Morey. Of course, it's not Aaron, it's his son. And now I'm drawing a blank on that one too. But he's 14 years old. and he's out here running a super late model, and he was I don't know, top 20 in practice. I'm just going to try to look to see if I could do it correctly and get his name correct. But the point is, we got talented race car kids. Luke Morey, thank you, Luke Morey.
Luke Morey, yes, I know Luke. Yeah, number 49. Yeah,
correct. You know what's crazy? If you know what a mini wedge is, a mini wedge is nothing more than a kid's go-kart with a little wedge body on it. Do you know, Wesley, that Luke ran the mini wedge here at Berlin on the little baby short track the last time he was here? Because he grew up right here. Now he returns back home after moving to Charlotte with his family. The family comes back home, but he comes here in a super late model racing in the Money in the Bank, and the kid's got talent. There's talent coast to coast.
Yeah. Yeah, Luke Morey is in the car number 49 entry, of course. He also competes on the Carolina Pro Late Model Series, and he was in action at he's ran a couple of races this year, but Orange County Speedway has the Carolina Pro Series in Rougemont this weekend. But, hey, I always tell people this, Jeff, and I think you can reiterate on it. This racing industry, though it is such a big world, it is so small where this person knows this person and this person knows that person. And you're talking about a driver from Michigan to North Carolina, back to Michigan, and the credentials in this. That's going to be a young driver to watch, I believe. You're exactly right. Luke Morey in that black with the green number 49. If that's the car number he's driving, that's going to be a great young man to watch, as you said. I think of Mason Maggio, Jeff. He's another young driver that just got a shot. The Floridian, 17 years old. He's won a couple of Carolina Pro Late Model Series events. He had his opportunity to race for E33 and Rick Ware Racing as a development driver at Worldwide Technology Raceway. So I think that's phenomenal. Other big events going up at Berlin. Obviously, we mentioned ARCA. We mentioned the Sprint Car Tour. The battle at Berlin, is that still going to be 251 laps as it's always been, and a SRL National Tour event? And to segue into that also, Jeff, what do you think about a National Pavement Super Late Model Series? Do you feel like today is the time to have that?
I think all you got to do is look outside here. We've got guys that don't call a particular track home. Now, obviously, we got a bunch of Berlin regulars here running that only run Berlin. But when you look at Caden Honeycutt, you look at Bubba Pollard, you look at a Ty Majeski. Now, granted, he's got the truck deal. I think you can go up and down pit road and answer that question, because there are still very good drivers that are not here this week, like a Stephen Nassy. He ran Jennerstown. He could have come over. He did tell me that he'll be here in August. But I think when you go around and you start looking, it's going to take money, Wesley. You know that. These guys aren't going to travel from state to state to state to state every single weekend for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 grand. I think you're going to have to get some additional money behind it. These guys cannot afford to go broke on the road, either paying for truck fuel just to get the hauler to the track. Tires going up. Everything's going up. So it's going to be up to track promoters to work together if we're going to do that and say, hey, we need to put $30,000 shows up and, 2 or 3, 4, 5,000, 3,000 to start in order to cover somebody's expenses. I know what Bubba paid to get up here and race on Memorial Day weekend. He won $5 grand. He won $5 grand. That just about covered his expenses. So we all get it. It's an expensive sport. And if we're going to do what you're talking about, everybody's going to have to chip in.
Yeah, and when you Bubba Pollard was on finish line a couple of weeks ago when he won that race, and that's point blank. One of the things he said was, "Hey, listen, I'm not trying to name names, but there are some sanctioning bodies. They're going to have to step up. They're going to have to do what SRL and what Berlin Raceway and what other sanctioning bodies, Tim Bryant, Southern Super Series, they're getting ready for a race at Montgomery, Alabama, are going to have to do, because bottom line, this is an entertainment business, Jeff Striegle. You know that. Our job's to entertain the masses of crowds, whether it's in the grandstand or on radio or television or whatever you're doing. If there ain't no cars, there certainly ain't going to be a lot of fans. And bottom line is that all goes hand in hand into doing that. The promoters and everybody's got to do their part to make these guys load up the haulers and go out there to the racetracks, and in return have the fans be there to see the events.
You know, I think one of the other things that we got to be careful of too, and I don't have a magic answer on this by any stretch.
Sure.
You can't be booking big money shows on top of big money shows.
No, you can't.
We got enough dates in a year to be able to have a big money show here, and then a week later or 3 days later, you got a big money show there. But if Berlin was to put up a big money show, and then you've got a big money show, let's just say in the Midwest, and you got another one down south, and next thing you know, you got Bubba sitting there going, well, where am I going to go?
Sure.
That gives us 10 cars, and you 10 cars, and that guy 12 cars. And while you may have a big name or two in the field, you're going to have a fan base showing up very disappointed, coming to see the best in the business, and they get there and you only got 10, 12, 15 cars. That doesn't work for anybody. So I think at the end of the day, and again, I don't know the magic answer. We make a schedule, and do we call everybody? No, we don't. Somebody else, you make a schedule. Do you call me? No, not necessarily. So that's probably, if we're going to do this and do it right for years to come, everybody's got to work together, because we all get it. The cost is going up. Do we have fewer drivers today than what we did back in the day? I don't know. Maybe not. We got 35 cars sitting down there. When we ran ASA here back in the day, we had 35 cars. So, we got a good field. There's a lot of cars out there, but if we start nickel and diming them, they're going to disappear, and we're all going to be in, trouble at that point.
Hey, listen, I got one more question to ask you. We're going to let you go here. Jeff Striegle, of course, from Motor Racing Network and Berlin Raceway. Remember, Flow Racing. And first off, let me sell the grandstand seat first. You need to be there live in person at Berlin Raceway. It is an entertainment show unlike any other. You will definitely enjoy the activities there at Martin, Michigan. But if you cannot be there, if you're watching Finish Line or listening on Finish Line on our Fox Sports Radio affiliates or iHeartRadio, the Community Radio Network, you could be able to be in California, Mexico, you could be in Japan, go on Flow Racing, and you can actually watch the race on from Berlin Raceway. So I do want to mention that. But real quickly, Jeff, final question, we'll let you go. You've got some NASCAR heavy hitters coming in. You've got Eric Jones that's going to be racing tonight. You have got Ty Majeski, of course, coming off of the win at Inverness, Florida, at Citrus County, the first SRL National Tour event when he won in February. You've also got William Byron. Man, William Byron, and I said this talking with someone else, he won the Easter Bunny 150 at Hickory, and then he won the following weekend at a NASCAR race. And definitely you look at what he did at Nashville when he won the North-South Super Late Model Challenge. The next day he went to Darlington and had that pretty controversial finish between him and Logano, and he won that Cup Series race. So your take of these national NASCAR Cup Series guys coming in, running local, Jeff, and then getting ready to get back in the seat with the big boys on Cup and primarily doing well, winning for that matter.
I can give you my thought on that, because I've seen it time and time again. If you don't think these drivers have earned their spot in a Cup ride, watch them when they come back down to the local level. William Byron isn't driving anything any different than Bubba Pollard, than what Carson would have been in, Caden Honeycutt. These are super late models. They're basically very similar race cars. I think we would all agree with that. Some faster than others, no doubt. What we saw yesterday, Wesley, was William Byron unload that car at a track that anybody that's ever been here will tell you, if you can race and win at Berlin, you can win.
Yeah. Oh, we lost him. I bet you had a phone call. I bet you got a phone call. I bet you he got a text. He got something. He's back. He's back.
Somebody, you know what? You don't want to know who that was? That was our Fox affiliate weather person who was giving me the latest update. And instead, I'm talking to you. No, I'm kidding. We'll get her update in a minute. All right, real quick to end this. William Byron unloads that Chevrolet and he goes out and he practices P1. P1. You don't do that here. You don't do that here. Not unless you happen to be a Brian Campbell and Evan Shotko, somebody who has been here, done that for a lot of years. Nobody. ASA days, doesn't matter. If you were an outsider coming into Berlin, you had to learn it. You didn't just unload, get in the car, and go out and set fast time. That's what William Byron did yesterday. The kid's a phenomenal talent. So is Eric Jones. These are young kids at the sport's highest level for good reason. They've got talent.
Well, Jeff, we could talk for a whole hour if we could, but I know you're a very, very busy man at Berlin Raceway and having to make the decisions based on the weather and everything that's going on. Hopefully you can get in money in the bank tonight, but thank you for taking the time to be on Finish Line. Good luck in all your endeavors continuing with the racetrack, the Motor Racing Network, and all that you do for the industry. One last sell. Promote Berlin Raceway before we get you off the air, sir, and thank you.
I'll promote it this way. Search Berlin Raceway on Facebook. It's got far more than what I can remember at this point. I'm running on limited sleep. This shows that I'm not lying. Getting home from Gateway and having a couple of hours of sleep there. We were here all night last night with practice in the post-race party or the post-practice party. We'll have a post-race party tonight. And being here early, but you just go to Facebook, Wesley, and we've got everything on there. We got super modifieds coming up. I will tell you that I've been around to a lot of tracks, and so have you. And I will tell you that Matt Weaver, Ty Majeski, names that you're familiar with, Eric Jones, they're going to tell you I've been to a lot of tracks, but Berlin Raceway is one of the nicest tracks in the country, and that's something we're very proud of.
Yeah, it certainly is. If you ever get a chance to go out to Berlin Raceway in Marne, Michigan, you definitely will not be disappointed. I would say make a weekend out of it. NASCAR Cup Series weekends coming up at Michigan up in the summer months of June. Go up there, get your tickets for the Michigan International Speedway events, and while you're doing that, make a trip to go to Berlin Raceway, Kalamazoo, all of these awesome facilities that are in that area. Jeff, thank you for what you do, sir. Hope you have a great show at Berlin Raceway, and we appreciate you being on Finish Line to promote it.
Happy to do it anytime. Thank you very much. We appreciate it here, too.
Not a problem. And again, that is Mr. Jeff Striegle from Berlin Raceway. Right now, the scheduled plan is they're going to get the race in. If anything changes, the plan's to race tomorrow, and we appreciate that. Charles, I will let Mr. Jeff go. I know he's got a crazy, crazy schedule. He is preparing for all of the things that are going on at the racetrack, and we're waiting to connect with Corey Heim. Brenden Queen is coming up on the way as well. He actually is getting ready to go, but let's go ahead and bring him in then. Guest 3 is, so let's bring him in. We'll get Jeff Striegle off the air. We'll bring him in a little bit earlier, and Corey Heim has not responded back yet. I don't know what's going on, so we've texted him. Maybe something came up with Kyle Busch Motorsports, these late pop-up meetings or something. That's happened before, but one guy that's in the house, he's ready to go, is the driver that picked up a big win in the Cars Tour. Solid Rock Carriers Late Model Stock Series at Hampton, Virginia, this past weekend at Langley Speedway. It's Butterbean Brenden Queen. Welcome back to Finish Line, my friend. Good evening to you.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Doing well. You're in the hot seat. Is that your iRacing rig? Do you have iRacing?
It is. It actually is. I hadn't been able to do a lot of sim racing lately, but this is it. This is a little cutout I got made out of wood and a Ford Escort seat, and I got all my stuff mounted up here. But this is the same seat that I won the Blake Morris race out of and all that. So
that's awesome.
This is
and
it.
I called that race when you won that Memorial Tribute race. I remember that for sure. And remember, Charles, that's a special race for me and you, because that's the first race that I ever worked with you on LSRTV calling a sim racing broadcast, and it was on also Speed 51 Esports back in the day. But if you remember, that was that big memorial race they did for Blake Morris during the pandemic, Philip Morris's son, and the race that was at Martinsville. You do remember it. Okay, he does. So, yes. Well, Brenden, listen, a big win for you this past Saturday at Langley Speedway. A dominating performance, man. I will say this. I have never it's been a while since I've heard a roaring crescendo from a crowd when you passed Carson Quapple for the lead. That place erupted in support of you being a hometown driver. And I don't want to say the word hometown to disrespect anybody, because obviously you paid your dues on many levels. I've seen you do well at not just Langley, but at Southern National. You've ran at Orange County. You've ran at other places. So, but when you made that pass, obviously, could you hear the reaction of the crowd from the car 03 when you made the pass down the straightaway on Quapple?
I mean, at that time, I really probably wasn't, I wasn't processing what was going on outside the fence. But where it really got me was when I did take the checkered, I could feel just the eyes around the whole track on the cool down lap, and the amount of people that were climbing the fence. Like, I've never in my life seen it like that at Langley. I mean, they were climbing the fences like all the way around the track and just going nuts. And then on the victory lap, I could hear it. And then, of course, they were getting me pumped up because they were all at the fence all the way around the track. And you could just tell their expressions were just like excitement. And then I kind of knew that we had a good fan base, because over the past couple of years, I call them Bean Nation, but Bean Nation's been pretty big, and it keeps growing. And during driver intros, just the amount of fans that came up to me just to give me their hand to shake or take a picture was just completely overwhelming, that I didn't expect, just because I haven't had a chance to hang out on that side of the grandstands, lately, because we've been so busy. But it was crazy. I hadn't seen Langley Speedway like that in a long time, and I don't know if I ever have, to be honest with you.
And it certainly was a fun time, again, watching it, checking it out, and seeing what happened there. A $7,000 payday when it was all said and done for the driver, Brenden Queen. I got to say, Brenden, with the crazy stuff we're dealing with our economy, not just trying to make it in the racing world, that's a pretty good payday from Jack McNally to go towards your racing program going into the summer, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. For us, it's just huge, man. I mean, we don't have nowhere near the budget that some of these guys have, and we're a backyard team. We do it right out of our backyard and our shop, and we're going up against affiliated teams and a lot of people with a lot of money. Nothing against them, it's just the way the cards are dealt. I just unfortunately am not in that situation, and I have to work really hard at what I do have and make the best out of what I have. And when I get opportunities to win some of these races, I have to take them, because I can't just go rent a ride next week and have another shot. That might be my only shot to win a cars race ever. So I don't want to look back on it and regret it. And, it's just one of those deals that we try to make the best of what we got. And that $7,000 definitely helps out.
Brenden, and you can bring us back side by side if you don't mind. Charles Wooten in the Texas studios handling the production. We're with Brenden Queen. Brenden, you are, I don't want to say that you're a local, but I mean, you primarily travel for the big races, but for the most part, you stay in the Langley Speedway, what used to have been Southside Speedway till it shut down back in the day locations. Do you feel like going into the race on Saturday night or Friday practice day, you had a pretty good shot knowing that you could win that race against those guys, being a local favorite?
Well, with the season we've had, or actually the last 2 to 3 seasons, we've been really, really good at Langley. And then this year it's been really clicking, and we were undefeated, going into the Cars Tour race. We had actually planned to run a different car, the car that I'd ran last year, but I hadn't ran it this year, and we had that oil leak on Friday. We went back to the shop, and we just rolled the dice and said, let's just take the car that we've been running. We don't have any practice tires. We don't know what to adjust, so let's just take this car and we're going to race it how it is, and no matter how slow we are in practice, we're not changing nothing. Well, I was next to last in practice all day, so that concerned me a little bit, but I knew it had to be tires. I mean, I'm riding on I had a tire from every track the Cars Tour had been to on each corner. Like, one was Caraway, one was Franklin, one was Goodyear, one was Ace. So I knew I didn't have the best tires to practice on because I don't run the Tour. So we just kind of had to hope that when we did put the new tires on for qualifying, that the balance would come back. And, man, it did. The car felt just as good as it has all year. And, I think my confidence is up knowing that I can win races now. And for a while there, we'd finish third, fourth. And you're like, man, I don't know if I can do it. And then last year was a real statement year, winning 5. And then this year now with the Cars Tour, we've won 4 out of 4 already. So it's been a really, really good start to the year, man. And like I said, I'm just so thankful and blessed just to have the opportunity to even race, even if it's just at my home track or whatever. But yeah, we do travel, like you said. I mean, I don't like just being a one-track wonder. Like, I want to win races at other tracks. We came so close to winning the Thanksgiving Classic last year. And finished second to the 8 car. So this was kind of redemption for that in a way. Not Josh Berry, but still the same group of guys, just as big to win.
Hey, but listen, though, to finish second to Josh Berry, who was at one time the dominator of the national level of late model stock car racing, is not anything to be disappointed about whatsoever, man. And you've had your share of winning races. You won Hampton Heat? You've won Hampton Heat before. You've been there in those big shows. And the only thing that I really segue into that about Langley Speedway is, you get that racetrack. I see you're in an iRacing rig. I see you're in a simulator here in your office or your man cave, if you will, as they call it. Do you use iRacing to help you out in preparing to run at Langley, a track you know very well, or to maybe go to a place like Hickory, or to go to South Boston, or to go to Martinsville for the big NASCAR late model races in October? What has iRacing done for you, helping you in your regular career in the real car?
It helped a ton. I mean, it helped a lot. I remember a story of when I went to South Boston and blew up on the first lap of practice. I'd never even seen the place, had to start at the rear, and the only practice I had was South Boston, on iRacing, and I ended up driving from 20-something to finish 6th, which for me was huge. And some official asked me, how'd you do that? I'm like, the only way I know is I raced this place on iRacing. Now that I'm a little bit older, my crew chief, Phil Warner, doesn't like me to play iRacing. He thinks it causes bad habits. You drive off a sight, not fuel. But I use it for dirt now that I'm running dirt cars a little bit. And if I'm gonna go to a place I've never been, I like to just get on there and make some laps. But since I've been winning the championships at Langley, normally my crew chief made me make a rule with him. He said, don't play iRace until the season was over. So the last 2 years, I didn't play iRacing throughout the race season, but during the off season, I played a lot. And I'm looking to get back on right now, even though we're in the middle of racing. I like being on there. I want to do some more streaming. I like streaming on my Twitch, and I was starting to get a good following, and I want to keep pushing on that, especially now that we got our YouTube page with our vlogs we're doing and some other stuff, because it's just been cool interacting with people, and then learning of new fans that have been pulling for me on Flow Racing TV that I've never even met and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's got to be really, really cool that you've built a fan base because of Twitch and for iRacing and other stuff. Hey, Charles, my producer in Texas, you got anything for Butterbean? Brenden Queen? He's just glad you're to be on the show. He's glad you're on the show, is what he said. He's happy that you're on the show for sure.
I'm happy that I'm on here, man. It's been an exciting week for me. Flashbacks to the Hampton Heat, kind of the way the week went after that, and just trying to manage all the media attention that I've gotten this week, and it makes you love what you do, and just realize how big of a deal it really is, because some of those guys that run the tour and stuff, they get to be a part of it every week. But when you're somebody that don't run it and you do win it like this, this is the week where you realize, man, what did I just do? And it's a big deal, man.
Hey, and by the way, Hampton Heat 200 around the corner at Langley. That's still on the horizon. You've got other big races like Martinsville, the other big races in those Triple Crown, counting South Boston, going on, the Virginia Triple Crown for the late models. And then you move into Florence. Then you move into Southern National, the 50,000 to win Thanksgiving Classic. What's your take going into that race? Obviously, you want that win. Hopefully Josh Berry doesn't show up and you can be the guy in P1 to get it done.
Hey, man, I hope he shows up, and I hope I'm the guy that can beat him, No, I'm looking forward to all those races. Going back to Kinley is going to be exciting just because we've been pretty good there. That's a track that I do have a lot of experience at, because when Langley was closed, I raced there a lot. And, for me, it's going to be fun going back there. I finished second in that race twice and third once. So, I've got some good runs. Florence, we got to pick up our race pace a little bit. Our qualifying speed's been good. We just hadn't hit on anything in the race. And then Martinsville, we were really good last year. We had a brake caliper lock up on like lap 30, and we had to run the whole race like that. So I'm excited to kind of go back with what we learned last year. And then South Boston, we've had hot and cold days there. So we just got to really just keep trucking along with what we've been doing. And of course, another Hampton Heat would be nice to get another one of those. But, man, I'd take any of those races. They're all big,
So, Charles, just got a response via text back from Corey Heim, and he said, hey, man, just came out of a meeting. It ran longer than I thought it was going to be. If you can pencil me sometime after 2:30, I can be available. So we will see what we can do to get Corey Heim on reschedules. He just responded back to me via text. So he was actually supposed to have been on at 1:25, and we're giving Brenden Queen a little bit more your PR love to Corey Heim because he was late. So for sure. So
I'm sure,
Brenden, go ahead.
I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's not gonna like that one too much. Since the Hampton Heat.
Hey, listen, Jeff Striegle. Oh, do you guys got some history together?
Well, the Hampton Heat. Obviously, I made the move to win, and he was the meat in the middle. And
that's right. That's right.
And ever since then, he's not a Brenden Queen fan, but that's okay. That's part of it. I knew he was moving on, and he was going to be moving on anyways. And he's won 2 truck races now. That's probably bigger than the Hampton Heat. So something I won't ever get to do. So
well, you don't know that. He can let me. Come on, don't say that. I mean, you heard what Jeff Striegle said. You young drivers are on the rise. You guys are going to be the next superstars in NASCAR, and I believe it. I believe it's like the Cars movement. Have you ever seen the movie Cars 3? No, I don't believe I can fly. But I'll fly. I go in an airplane, Charles.
Here's the thing I'd say on that too is don't ever give up. Even though I'm getting older, I had a sit down talk last Thursday, and it was like, I know I don't have the money to move up.
Right.
I know that I'm a late model guy, and that's it. And I accepted that, and I've been running way better since I accepted that fact. But don't ever give up on your dreams. You never know what could happen. Every day's a new day. And then I went out and won the Cars Tour race 2 days later. So it's like, I believe in that. Just keep digging. You never know what doors will open.
You're exactly right. And I got a message from one of the places that I announced that on Friday night, Wake County Speedway. And Wake County Speedway is, and I've told people this before, I've said it on public address, I've said it on broadcast. Wake County Speedway holds a special place in my heart because I remember as a kid growing up, even before, what Jeff Striegle was talking about, being 10 years old, going to Berlin Raceway and building up, in his career what it is today with MRN as well as at that racetrack. I remember as a kid going to Wake County Speedway, even before Southern National was even built. They were still putting the pavement down on that track back in the early 90s. And I remember going to Wake County Speedway. I remember going to Orange County and South Boston and Myrtle Beach. And one of the places that I enjoy announcing at on Friday night this year is America's favorite bull ring, the NASCAR sanctioned Wake County Speedway. And I just got a message from one of those guys, Butterbean. And the question is, Wesley, please encourage Butterbean to bring his car to America's favorite bull ring on Friday night, July 15th for the Leaf Cars 160. So I guess I'm trying to sell you. I'm trying to sell you, Brenden, to be at Wake County on Friday night.
Well, we're working on it. LeafCars.com sponsors me. So I know they got a big deal with Wake County down there, and we're talking about it. Obviously, there's some different rules that we're gonna have to look into and change because they don't run the same exact late model rules that we run at most tracks. But we've looked at that date, and it's a possibility. We don't know for sure yet. So we're looking at it, especially with us having in the national points. We got 3 starts and 3 wins, so we need some more starts. We're sitting way down in national points, but if you look at it, I mean, we got enough wins to move up. We just don't have the starts. So that's a NASCAR track. We need to start. So we're going to see what happens this weekend at Langley. We got twins, and if we can go down there and snag 2 more wins, that put us at 5, and we're kind of getting close to the hunt. We just got to have to race some more,
Bullring Brenden. Hashtag Bullring Brenden. That's what I'm calling you out there, Butterbean. Yes,
I like it.
Hashtag Bullring Butterbean or Bullring Brenden for sure.
I like
yes. And by the way, Charlie Hansen and Mr. William Brown and Mark Arson and Mike Ray and everybody at Wake County Speedway that are there have done a phenomenal job. And they have averaged a pretty good late model car count this year as well. So I think the most recent NASCAR late model race they had, which is, by the way, sponsored by shameless plug, LeafCars.com.
LeafCars.com.
They had 17 NASCAR late models on a tight quarter-mile bull ring. Have you ever raced at Wake County before, Brenden? Would that be a first for you if you go there?
It'd be a first for me. My crew chief took his grandson, Riley Music, down there in the bandos the last year or so, and they won a lot of races down there. So he's been there, but I have not.
Gotcha.
I've watched a lot of videos, but I remember I have a lot of experience racing in East Carolina, which was a tight track. So I feel like it'll kind of fit into my wheelhouse because I was really, really good at East Carolina. That was one of my probably best tracks.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the tracks that I, went to back in the day for sure. Either I'm unveiling how old I am. Obviously, by the gray in the beard, you can tell that as well, Brenden. I need to shave or get some Just for Men. I didn't tell my producer that.
I can't even grow a beard.
I said, hey, you're lucky, man. Look, for the longest time, okay, I told somebody, I said, I'll never grow one. I just am I'm not a fan of facial hair. There's just so much upkeep that goes behind it. And which by the way, I've kind of got this no shave hockey thing going on because, I just ain't shaved yet because the Hurricanes, they just went out of the playoffs last week. So, no, that's not the excuse. The excuse is I've just been lazy, ain't shaved yet. But I will say this. I think it's more hard to try to keep all this maintained and looking decent than it is just to shave every damn thing off all at the same time.
It is, man. It's a full-time effort.
Yes. So, well, you got a little hair there, Brenden. Lift your chin up. There you go, chin up.
Yeah,
Charles calls it peach fuzz, Brenden. That's fighting words, ain't it?
And now it'll come in. It'll come in pretty good, and then I don't normally race with it. I always try to stay clean for racing, and sometimes I'm running so behind. I just run out of time. It's the least of my worries usually.
Brenden, I've always wanted to ask that question, and I don't think I ever have before. Let's say you got a hairy bearded person in the race car, and you're already in the race car, and you're going and you're driving, and I'm pantomiming, by the way, driving a race car. I don't think I can do it like this, but you're in the race car, and you're hot, and you're sweating, and obviously that's gotta like itch the hell out of you. I'm itching right now just thinking about it, right?
I don't like it. And I mean, I haven't raced with like a full beard, obviously, but I don't like it. I was very nervous when I grew the mullet because I was like, man, I've never raced with hair. I always kept my hair shaved or like really short because like it's hotter. But ever since I got the mullet, I've been winning. So I'm scared to cut the mullet off. And now everybody's like, oh, you can't. They're like, you can't cut the mullet. Like, you're the mullet. You like, we got some designs. We were gonna put on some t-shirts, the Mullet Mafia. So it's like, ever since I had it, I've been running good, and I'm scared I'm gonna cut it off and I'm not gonna run good. So I'm just like, I'm gonna keep it.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, we got another Virginian, Tyler Bear, who has a mullet as well, or he used to. He won at County Line Raceway, ran at Dixieland, Fayetteville, coming off of a triple sweep. We got him coming up on finish line after a quick commercial break. But, Brenden, it's always great catching up with you, man. Congratulations on your car store win and everything else that's going on in your career, man. Much success to you. Keep your head up. Before I do let you go, besides thanking LeafCars.com on that 03 late model, all the other sponsors and people that make it happen for you.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on here. It's been a great time. Always good to talk to you. I keep up with all y'all. I definitely want to thank Old School Video Games and more, Bryn Trim, Leaf Toyota, LeafCars.com, Fastenal, Snap Mobile, Atkins Motorsports, M&M Fleet Repair, Chick-fil-A Grassfield, Affordable Transmissions, BRC, Smoothie Stop Cafe, Schaefer's Racing Oil, Hedgecock Racing Enterprises, Rayvon Clark Engines, and West Page Racing Shocks.
And that is Brenden Queen. We are going to take a quick break. We're at the top of the hour. When we come back with Tyler Bear, winner at County Line Raceway on Finish Line.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle, in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN, and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play. Check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR-TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Yeah. There's a jingle. This
is Finish Line.
Hey, welcome back. Jeff Striegle, Brenden Queen filled in hour number one. Corey Heim got caught up in a meeting with Kyle Busch Motorsports, and unfortunately, we were going to try to reschedule him for sometime in the 2:30 spot. But, I mean, in my opinion, Charles, he had a time slot. He didn't make it. I'd hate to bump somebody because, he's available now and the other person is too, and cut their time. So
you miss your flight. You miss your flight. You don't get on the next one. You have to buy another ticket.
And listen, I got nothing but love for Corey Heim, the young man out of Marietta, Georgia. I've seen him climb the ladder to be where he's at. Of course, he's got 2 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series wins this year. He won in Atlanta. And, of course, had that big win this past Saturday in the Toyota 200 for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway. By the way, I mentioned it with Jeff Striegle, Charles, but a young man we've had twice on Finish Line this year, Palm Garden Beach, Florida native Mason Maggio. That 17-year-old made his first career NASCAR start in the trucks at Gateway. And I keep saying Gateway because it's so easy to say Gateway compared to Worldwide Technology. Behind me in the background. People think I lost it. St. Louis. Anyhow, we're going to bring in our next guest here. And ladies and gentlemen, I've known this cat for a long time. His father, his son. Are you there? Hello?
Hello. Hey.
Tyler, can you hear me? You hear me? But there you go. There you go, Tyler. Tyler, so take your phone, brother, and flip it like this. And flip it good. There you go. Welcome.
Gotcha.
He kept saying to me, he said, man, am I doing this right? Can I do this right? I was like, buddy, it's so easy a caveman can do it. And I told Jeff Striegle that yesterday because he's like, man, I'm not into that whole technical stuff. Well, I got news for y'all. Better catch on because this is the wave of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, of the Rockbridge, Bath, Virginia, Tyler Bear. We go from one mullet at the Tidewater region with Brenden Queen at Langley Speedway to another mullet man, of course, winning at County Line Raceway and a whole bunch of other places. Tyler Bear, it is so good to catch up with you. I got a question though, man. Why the hell ain't you at Eldora?
I don't know. We just we sold our big motor and we don't have a big motor right now.
Gotcha. So basically kind of just running the limited and the crate program, if you will, for the most part. Hey, listen, though, had a pretty successful weekend at Dixieland and County Line, Fayetteville. You're right around my neck of the woods this past weekend. As we put you full screen, tell everybody how the weekend went for you, of course, picking up a win at County Line.
Oh, no. I mean, we had a really good run. I'm not going to say that we were better than anybody else, but my dad has taught me to be patient on little tracks like that, and or just really anywhere that wears tires really bad. And I think we made the right decision on how we grooved the tire, and we're probably going to do it a little bit different here the next time. But I mean, just being patient, and I mean, I knew the rubber was there. I just didn't want to get up in it until I had to. And we caution. Luckily, there was 5 to go, and I figured it was my turn to get up in the rubber and see what was going to happen, and it worked out.
So, obviously, this past Saturday, Community Radio Network, the radio network that I own, had a phenomenal broadcast calling the I-95 late model event at Elm City. And, of course, you picked up that win there. You made the trip to Dixieland on Friday night. Is that a new track for you in Elizabeth City? I mean, that's kind of a track that's way, way, way out there on the Carolina coast that a lot of people really don't know about. They're primarily a Friday night racetrack, but the people that do know about Dixieland Speedway, they pack that place, man. That was a pretty exciting racetrack. And of course, then you go to Boom City for Sunday afternoon for Fayetteville.
Yeah, no, I mean Dixieland, it was a pretty cool little place. It was a place back home here, kind of like it, but it just the dirt was different. I mean, the banking was the same as East Side Speedway. I mean, it's pretty much drag racing down the straightaway and get through the corner. But I mean, the dirt's just a little different. It took me a little bit to catch on to. I was always taught not to spin the wheels or try not to spin the tires, and that place is a wheel spin place, and it's dirty, and you got to spin through it to go. And it just took me a little while to get going, but we had a finish started, so we moved.
Tyler, we look at you as a young man, obviously, your career, you can bring us back side by side together. We're with Tyler Bear, and of course, whether he's in the 43 Jason Covert Super Late model or the number 30 car that he won this past weekend in, your dad has got some awesome credentials. John Booper Bear. What does it mean to have the tutelage and that dad helping you in your racing endeavors? He has stepped away from racing himself and put it all on you and letting you build your legacy. What has he meant to you and helping you be the driver that you become? And you're still very, very young at that age, by the way.
I mean, he's been my top of my career. I mean, he's put me where I'm at right now. I mean, of course, everybody says you got to be able to drive, and he's taught me everything that I know. There's nobody in racing that has taught me any more than he has by just driving and showing me what I'm doing wrong and telling me and criticizing me and telling me what I'm doing right. And I mean, he's just been, that's the big advantage that I have on a lot of people, and especially down the Carolina ways. I mean, those guys, I don't think that they have ever had to really conserve their stuff, or at least they don't act like it. And it's just go, go, go. And here, back home here, I mean, the time in the tire wear is pretty bad back here, and you just can't get your stuff wore out quick, or you're no good at the end. And being where you can just save your stuff, and he's taught me all that, and taught me to drive straight and keep my wheels under me and not all hung out.
I'll tell you what, you look at Dixieland, different size racetrack, different comparison. County Line Raceway, 3/8 mile, kind of a little bit of banking, short distance racetrack. And then you go to Fayetteville, where they kind of went from a big half-mile track, 4/10 of a mile, to now a small 3/8 mile facility. Racetracks that probably you've raced in the past that, you got to adapt to. Like they rechanged Fayetteville. Fayetteville used to be a big track, and now it's small. It's different on the cars. It's different on the setup and the shocks. What type of a package did you guys go into Fayetteville, County Line, and Dixieland going into working, because these tracks have changed over the years?
To be honest, I mean, since we left Florida this year, I've been on this. Nobody really believes me much, or they don't act like it. Not really. But we've been on the same package every night we've unloaded. Every night we've unloaded, we've been on the same package everywhere, and we've started the exact same spot night, and we usually end up in the same spot, and I can't think. I mean, we didn't do very good in Florida, but we learned a whole lot, and what I got out of Florida helped me the start of this year, and I can't thank little Brian at Integra and Brian Burkhofer. I mean, they turned this program around and really got us going.
Man, you think of Brian Burkhofer, the 15B, and I know we've got Eldora coming up for the $1 Million Dream this weekend, tonight and Friday or Thursday, and then the regular Dirt Late Model Dream on Friday and Saturday at Eldora Speedway. But you think of that name, Brian Burkhofer, that driver is somebody that's the Muscatine Madman has certainly earned his credentials to be doing what he's done in the sport. And of course, man, what does that mean to have somebody like that helping you with your career?
Oh man, I mean, it meant the world that he came over, and we got into the fence there on the night, not the last night in Florida, but the night before, and we had to change the suspension on the front end there for the last night. Yeah, I went with my dad. I have never went around the place, but I went when I was younger when my dad was racing, and I went with him and watched. And I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, we'll just have to see how our program grows and see how many more new sponsors we can get. And I'm not saying that we won't have a big motor here soon, or we will. I mean, I kind of like what we're doing now, and I'm enjoying it, and it's fun. And back last year when we were running supers weekly and we were going to Port Royal up and down the road like every weekend, and it was me and one other guy, and I mean, we would go down there and run with the Lucas. And I mean, when you unload for the Lucas Oil, I mean, you and one other person, I mean, it's like another job. I mean, you don't have time to go look at the racetrack because they're wanting to go, go, go. And it just got to where it wasn't fun. And stepping, I mean, I miss it, but I mean, just stepping back and doing the Steel Block Bandit thing. I mean, all the guys are nice at the Bandits, and they're good people to race with, and they're clean racers, and we're running pretty good. And I mean, it's enjoyable. You can't wait till the weekend to come. But last year, it just got too much, and I think that hurt our whole program, and we never could get going.
Charles, do you want to segue into that? I mean, I know you love your dirt racing more than you do NASCAR and pavement for sure. I mean, it's got to be fun doing what you're doing. If it ain't fun, you don't want to do it no more.
You know, keep going dirt. Dirt's real. Dirt's for racing. Asphalt's for getting there. That's all I got to say on that matter. Sorry to all you asphalt people out there. Real racing's on dirt. If you got to turn right to go right, you might as well just be on a freeway at that point. If you turn left to go right and right to go left, that's racing. Well, it could be wrecking too, but still, it's more racing.
Those in the background are his sentiments, not mine. To our viewers, listeners on Finish Line.
Yeah, because you like NASCAR.
I'm a lover of all racing. Okay, from NASCAR to dirt and pavement, karting to late models and sprint cars, modifieds, and more. Tyler, if you ever got out of running a late model car, what would you want to race if you couldn't race a super late model?
I never really thought about it. I mean, I've always done this and never really thought about running anything else. I mean, it would definitely have to be something on a round track. I'm not a drag strip kind of guy, but I mean, probably it would just have to be a round track. I mean, it would be whatever.
What did you say, Charles? He's in my. I'm sorry, Tyler. If y'all can hear some of the stuff these people say in my ear whenever I'm on the air, I'm telling you, oh my goodness. So, well, Tyler, where do you go from here? I mean, obviously, okay. I think back to this. Okay, this is before COVID. I actually had the privilege to announce that race, and me and Tommy Tedder did. Probably the biggest win of your career. Was it the USA 100 when you won that big race, that $20,000 super late model race at Virginia Motor Speedway? Would you say that's probably the biggest win you've ever had in your career?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Um, I mean that was my fourth or fifth race out, and to win 20,000 in a super race to that, and to beat some of my race and heroes, that's a big deal.
Well, listen, Tyler, we're going to let you go, buddy. It looks like you're having some type of a internet connection frequency issue. I think you realize that. I think that's why you're walking off your porch or somewhere to get a better signal. So where are you racing at this weekend? Where we're going to see you at very soon. And before we do let you go, man, we want you to thank your sponsors. Are you there, Tyler? Tyler, you there? Hello? Hey, buddy. Tyler, I hear you, but I can't see you. Swindling, check your instruments. Hello. Tyler, I think we've lost him, Charles. Just bring our fade to black and bring back up our logo. Oh, there he is. Wait a minute. There you are. Where'd you go? Connect to Wi-Fi?
I don't know what happened. It just cut off and cut back on.
Well, listen, bud. I was going to say before I do let you go, let everybody know where you're racing at this week in upcoming big races, and thank your sponsors. We'll let you get back to getting back to working on the race car, and thank you for taking the time to join us here on Finish Line, sir.
I really appreciate you getting me on here, and really means a lot. And I always watch your stuff, and we always kid back and forth at the racetrack and stuff and have fun. So, but first and foremost, I'd like to thank my dad for giving me the opportunity to do this, and Brian Kleindienst for giving me the opportunity of the super late model deal. That was a good deal, and we had fun. All my crew, I mean, Billy Beachler, Frankie Pennington, he's going with us now. Randy for washing stuff up. Kyle, my fiance for allowing me to do this stuff and taking away from her day and going with us. And my mom, my sister, just everybody on the car. Dennis and Beverly, Sunoco Racing Fuels VP, KRS Graphics, Kurt Flop, Rocket Chassis, they helped a whole lot. Little Brian and Brian Burkhofer and whoever else. I mean, I know I'm missing everybody, but just it takes them all. But thanks.
Well, Tyler, listen, man, I see that there's weather in your area. It's coming down. Get into shelter, man. Get out of harm's way. Don't mess up your phone talking to us. And we appreciate you taking your afternoon joining us here on Finish Line. And, yes, there's weather all over the area. Jeff Striegle talked about it in Berlin, Michigan at Berlin Raceway. We've got weather here in the area. I think Charles said he's got weather in Texas. So definitely stay dry. Thank you for taking your time to be on the program, and thank you for all that you do racing in the sport, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem, buddy. There you go. There's Tyler Bear, ladies and gentlemen. And, again, weather all over. Weather affects not only real racing, Charles, but it affects Finish Line. It does. It does. Is the picture crooked? Does it look sideways? I said, how they took it picture. Oh, okay. So the picture did look like it's kind of at an angle. So definitely, hey, by the way, congratulations again to Tyler Bear joining us here on the next on the Finish Line Motorsports Show. So we are going to have to connect via phone cast. Really? Well, let's bring him in. Let's bring him in then. If we're going to, let's bring him on if he knows what he's doing. Donnie Apple. You there, Donnie? Hello. Donnie. Hello, Donnie. Connect to us again. What happened? What happened to Donnie? Yeah, I was going to say we're just going to call him on the phone here, but I mean, I admire his efforts for trying. Are you sure it's not Ross Dalton? That's our final guest. Oh, good. Well, let's see if he can connect again. I'd love to try to see if we can get him on video for sure, man. This would definitely be something he'd probably want to keep as a memory because he's. Do we have him? All right, so listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try to connect to him, and if not, we're going to call him. So let's take a quick break. We'll come right back on Finish Line. Hopefully Donnie Apple is right there beside me to your left.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle, in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play. Check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSRTV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
Ah, yes. Welcome. Welcome back.
This is Finish Line.
You did it on purpose, Charles. You did that on purpose. Welcome back to Finish Line, everybody. And do what? Oh, okay. Well, welcome back to Finish Line, everybody. He did that on purpose, I think. We've got our guest on the line with us, and of course, if you look to the right of me, you see Darren Hackett. You see the beautiful Miss Caraway Speedway, Shay Vance, and in the middle is Mr. Donnie Apple. And man, there is just so much history at Caraway Speedway for the name Donnie Apple and other places. But in addition to that, he picked up his first career win in over 16 years this past Saturday at Caraway Speedway. Donnie Apple joins us now on the program. Donnie Apple, welcome to Finish Line. First-time guest, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It certainly is, man. Listen, you've got, I mean, we could give you a whole hour. You could tell us some amazing racing stories, couldn't you, my friend?
I was thinking about it today. It's been quite a while, longer than I imagined, to be honest with you. Actually, I was actually trying to think back when I actually had my first car, and I think it was 1979. It was a 1964 Nova, and I worked all summer. I gave $1,200 for it, race ready. I thought I was going to Daytona.
So NASCAR to grassroots, you have done your share of it all and more and then some. I was going to ask this question. It's been 16 years since you won a race. What was going through your mind Saturday night when you picked up that checker flag at Caraway, battling somebody like Brian Rose and Coy Beard and everybody that was around you in that race?
Honestly, I mean, it's something that I'd strive for some time. I took a long break because my daughters, I have 3 daughters, and me and my wife took a long break from racing just to follow their paths, possibly. And so I felt like I was cheating them. So I really didn't know that I was ever going to get back into racing. It just some things lined up, and I was going to do it for some fun. And it kept, I don't know, you think you want to do it for fun, but then as a competitor, if you've ever won, then that's the only thing you're going to be happy with is winning, not just out there riding around. So it just kept pushing, and I guess it's been a long story about the whole thing. I've been very fortunate to win a lot of races at different tracks. I was very, very fortunate to have won Martinsville and had a clock. That's not a lot of people get to that opportunity. I was just blessed to have that, along with sponsors and friends working on my car. But I never had a picture of all the years I raced with all my daughters and my wife in Victory Lane till Saturday night, and that's probably going to trump anything I've ever won.
Yeah, that was pretty special. I mean, I'm in the broadcast booth doing the play-by-play for Caraway TV, and Alan Todd, longtime veteran announcer, auctioneer, was there beside me, and he nudged me, and he's like, I know you're supposed to do the late models, but, man, let me go down there and interview Donnie Apple. And I was like, man, absolutely, go ahead. And it was so special to see. And when you climbed out of the car, you were filled with emotions. There was cheers, there was tears, there was, a sigh of relief. And, of course, well, maybe a couple of beers after the show had ended, maybe, if you are a partying person, as my producer said in the background. But, I mean, that had to.
Wrong with a refreshment.
That's exactly. Nothing wrong with a refreshment. Charles, he calls it a refreshment. Definitely a special time for sure this past Saturday. Does that make you consider, hey, man, I haven't won in so long, and I won this race, and you mentioned your family and your kids and the racing life and being on the road and all you've done. does that make you, after this big win on Saturday, say, man, I'm thinking about stepping down? Or does that recharge the batteries and say, dude, I want to win again? I'm looking forward to that next race.
No, I guess you say I'm very fortunate. I don't think far as stepping away, but I'm very fortunate far as being old enough to, I guess, to put it in perspective. Before I even went back racing, I sat down and spoke with my wife, and we talked about it because things like that we do together. Long she's behind me, and we're doing it and keeping perspective and do it in small portions. It is fun, but it's not a break the bank, I guess you could say. But we're some volatile times. Finances, like with anybody, when you're doing this type of racing and you want to race first class, then you just got to look at it and see what you can. It's the affordability of it. And, make sure as long as the family, we're kind of having fun with it. It's not putting anybody in a bad position and doesn't stress anything going on here home with the home life. Then, yeah, I'll probably continue to kind of trudge on a little bit. And I still do like traveling to different tracks and running different venues. But what Darren's put together this year for us in the late model really made it a lot more affordable. And, I think he's got there's nothing perfect out there. But as far as if you want to race, it's probably as good a package you're going to find for right now, I think.
I'm sorry about that, Donnie. I'm listening to you, and I think I'm hearing my smoke detector going off, and I'm wondering if there's something going on in the kitchen. I want to let you just kind of real quickly. I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to step off set real quick because that ringing in the background is definitely scaring me.
Well, there's probably you may be hearing my equipment run here at the shop. It's got a backup beeper, and it sounds like a smoke detector, and it's on a skid steer, and I'm trying to get away from it myself.
Well, then it's you then. It's not me, okay? I was like,
you can blame me.
Okay.
I'm trying to get away from my equipment.
Well,
we're working
look,
at the top.
if I start seeing smoke come from under the damn door, then I know I'm in trouble, okay? So,
you're in trouble, yeah.
Okay, Donnie, so it's actually on your end. My apologies on that. I was just trying to be aware, Charles, for sure. So, Donnie Apple, again, joining us here on Finish Line. And, Donnie, I got a question to ask you, man. You talk about all the accolades and the successes that you've done in your racing career, running NASCAR and going to Daytona, running late models, doing everything you've done, winning this past weekend at Caraway. Where do you see the racing industry going as a veteran racer like yourself? Where do you see we're heading now with this sport, buddy?
I think it's kind of like I ain't gonna say it's come around in full circle, but I see more of your short tracks stepping out and doing their own thing. I don't know. It seemed like, in a sense, back when I did race, NASCAR, Bob, and I can't remember. I'm thinking the gentleman's name. It was over the Winston Racing Series. Wayne, I think it was Wayne. I can't remember. He was killed in a boat accident, but he looked after the short track programs. Very.
Are you talking about Wayne Alton?
No, it wasn't Wayne Alton. I know Wayne. He was actually worked for Winston, but he was over the Winston Racing Series at that time.
Gotcha.
In the mid-90s. And
T. Wayne Robertson?
T. Wayne Robertson. And when
Wayne Robertson.
Yes, sir. And when he was died, unfortunately, it seemed like the Winston Racing Series, ever since then, has went south. There's so much different, excuse me, and I'm not a politically correct person, so we won't get into that too much, but right along the time when I was trying to make it, racing was changing. Used to, you had to go around and prove that you could drive a race car, that you could win at different racing venues. And then all that changed. It pretty much became, do you have talent? Yeah, you got talent. But along that time, talent didn't mean anything. Money is talent nowadays. Whether you can drive or not, money is talent. You can like it, or it's one of them things where you either like it or get out of the kitchen, I guess you can say. And I was really sour at racing for a long time. I guess another reason I stepped away because I thought I deserved a chance but didn't get it. But after you step back and look at it for a while, you realize that you got a lot of opportunities a lot of people never did. So you be thankful you even got the opportunity that I have. So
definitely. Well, listen, Donnie, I know that you've got a crazy schedule with your work, and I appreciate you definitely taking the time to join us, because I know you said that it was going to be definitely you got a crazy life with everything you have with your full-time job. And as I tell so many people this here on Finish Line, it's a midweek show. It's an afternoon show. And you guys, a majority of y'all, have 9-to-5 jobs or you work full time. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in this racing industry that people think. And I think you're a great person that can tell that story for sure, because you've been there, you've done it, you've run NASCAR at a grassroots and still do it in the local level. I'll ask you one more question. I'll let you thank your sponsors, and we'll get you off the air here as we got Ross Dalton coming up. What's your thoughts going into the Rusty Hart Memorial? I know that's a big late model race coming up at Caraway Wednesday night, June 29th. Matter of fact, Finish Line is supposed to be live on location with a live show on the day of that event from the racetrack. That'd be a pretty big payday, pretty big race. One of the big late model races in the Southeast in the summer. With this win this past Saturday, does that build up your momentum going into that big race?
Well, I mean, it definitely helps. I mean, we've struggled with car just, with me and we're trying some different things, but it's going to be pretty cool. You know, me and Rusty, when I was really fixing to kind of slow down racing back then, is when Rusty was tragically killed. And, you know, I've never got to run the Rusty Hart, so this will be my first one. But, you know, we used to run a lot of 200 and 300 lappers years ago, and it's a strategy race, and anytime a racer gets to run more laps, is when you get to do a little bit of strategy into it. It's a lot much kind of more fun to it. Puts a little more thought to it. So and it's going to be hot. And I guess of all years of race, I guess one thing that helped me in the racing is, for a living, I do asphalt paving. So I'm very fortunate to be used to the heat. So that's helped.
Well, man, congratulations to you. Before we do let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors here on Finish Line, sir.
Well, I got to get hands out to Dave Dunlap, Basic Chassis, who's stood kind of beside me and has really helped me a whole lot. I mean, just tremendously go on the track and help me get the car worked out. And a lot of volunteers, my family. I mean, just without a lot of friends. I really haven't went and hunted sponsors because I didn't want to get back into having to be here and be there. So that part of it's kind of made it. But Darryl Pooh's still building my engines. He built my engine when I won in 1996 in Martinsville, and he's still building my engine. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just a fortunate person when it goes racing, and a lot of volunteer help. So just a lot of different people to thank. And I hate to get doing names. I don't want to forget any people, but not just now, but all along the times I have got to race, I've had a lot of friendships, a lot of help where I wouldn't have got to do any of this type of racing.
Donnie, are you going to try to run Martinsville coming up in September for the clock? Are you going to try to go for it again?
You know, that's a plan. I want to. But again, all honesty, I got to look at the financial end of it. But yeah, I guess you can say I'm planning on hopefully running some of the bigger shows at the end of the year. But I just have to see how it works out. I mean, there's, you know, I hate to be negative, Nancy, but you know, man, these fuel prices. I mean, I got my price sheets today, and I don't know what's coming for all of us, man. Yeah. I hope. Yeah. Don't want to be negative, but when fuel starts getting to $6-7 a gallon, and they say higher for diesel fuel, it could possibly put a big dent in my my business, to be honest with you. So yeah. That being said, I hate to say it, but it might be a wait to see.
Yeah, it's sad to see where we're at.
It's the sad thing about it is like to be that way.
Exactly. And I know this is not a political show, and I'm not in any way going to go political on anybody, but I would just say that the only way that we're going to be able to fix this is get rid of the leaders that are running our country, because they do not know what the hell they're doing. They're running this country in the ground, for sure.
I've never seen such a group that's so incompetent.
So, and of course, my opinion's my opinion. I just want to put that out there. If my producer's in my ear.
I'm not saying I'm glad you're not, and I'm appreciative to hear that you're not politically correct. I mean, there's no one perfect, but I've never seen a crowd screw up something so good in 12 to 16 months.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and I want to get Ross Dalton on here, but Donnie, this is the honest truth. You open the door, I'm going to kick it in. And the bottom line is, you know, racing's already expensive as it is. We already know that racing is an expensive sport. We know this. But, you know, now to make it expensive for people to just survive in lives and their livelihoods, I mean, look, I told somebody this jokingly at the racetrack the other day. I missed the McChicken sandwiches. I missed the McDoubles. I used to be able to go and get me 3 hamburgers for $1, $3-4. drive down the road, get me my food, snack, whatever, go to the racetrack, be happy. Now I go to get a damn double cheeseburger, and it's like $3.79. I'm like, oh, my God, are you serious? This is stupid.
Hamburger patty.
Crazy. It's crazy. And the only way we're going to fix it, Donnie Apple, as you said, and as I said again, and my opinions are my opinion of my own. I want to piss anybody off out there. But bottom line, Donnie, is that we gotta get new people running our country. There's got to be new people that are stepping up and taking care.
And people call it politically correct or the red wave, whatever. It don't matter. It can, there's Democrats got decent ideas, and but you ain't never gonna hear. You're not gonna hear from them. So it don't matter which side they run. It's just you got to. I've never seen somebody that's so disconnected with people. Just it's wrong is right and right is wrong, and I ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, we better watch out, Donnie. The NSA is going to disconnect us off your call for live on Finish Line, so they're not. They don't care. They don't care that it's a better sports show. So, Donnie, hey, listen, thank you for your time, man. We will talk again. Yes, sir, definitely. Congratulations on your big win. He's got a great point there. Mr. Donnie Apple, of course, winner out of Denton, North Carolina this past weekend in the late model events. And Charles, before I get Ross on, I just want to get your take on this. He ain't lying, am I right? I mean, there's a track just down the road from yours that's closed down. Not saying that it closed down because of those things at Monarch Speedway, but listen, I just saw yesterday, ECM Speedway, Arkadelphia, Alabama. They've shut down again. So, I mean, the sad reality is...
It's a domino effect, my friend.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like me. You asked a good question.
You're still on the air? I thought you hung up. Go ahead.
No, I'm still singing it. We got I'm all in. It's, I feel for the track owners. The thing about it is, it's not, they talk about car counts, but I'm self-employed. I love the race. Yeah. But my bills, my diesel fuel, my payments, they have to come before I get to go to the racetrack, and I'm in the same boat with a lot of guys.
Sure.
So the track, everybody says, well, the people aren't racing or whatever else. It's not so much that, dude. Just if there's no income coming in, the first thing that anyone, whether you're racing, you got a bass boat, or you play a lot of golf, if things get tight, the first thing that goes are hobbies.
That's right. And I'll tell you this. I feel for promoters. I feel for anybody that's in the entertainment industry, for sure. And it doesn't matter whether it's racing, football, movies, bowling alleys, you name it. It's going to be hard. Donnie, we got to go, buddy. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. I thought he hung up, Charles. That was a segue to you, brother. Let's segue to our next guest. Yes, here we go. Ka-chow. What'd you do? Hello? Wait, what did you do? What is it? and I bet you Ross Dalton was in the background waiting to come on here for his segment. And he's shaking his head, yes, and yes, and yes. Ross, welcome back to Finish Line. Before I go any further, your take on that, man. Am I right or am I right, Ross? Boo-boo.
Y'all are absolutely right, man. It's getting ridiculous. It's stupid. We own our own automotive repair shop in Greensboro, and it's horrible. It's horrible. We deal with the public every day, and the public just gets worse and worse.
Well, listen, before we go any further, we're going to get our final guest on. Of course, that is Ross Boo-Boo Dalton. It's been a while since we've had him here on Finish Line. Ross, welcome back. You have gone through a lot since the last time we had you in the hot seat. The crazy wreck at Greenville Pickens, going through recovery, going through therapy to get better, and building a new race car. Now, I know we talked vaguely. You won at Goodyear, and you said, well, Wesley, that's really not a win to me. I won on a technicality because of tech. But you won this past Saturday in the late model race at Caraway. Welcome back to Finish Line. Just talk about what you've been going through the last couple of months.
Man, it's been hell. I ain't gonna lie. I've been forced to do a lot of things that, as a racer, I never expected. And when I walked into this year, the beginning of it, I thought that this was going to be our best year that we've ever had. We had 3 race cars. My nephew was going to start racing, and I had 2 really good race cars at the beginning of the year, and the wheels just fell slam off. We won 2 races there quick off the bat, and the wheels fell off the bus and ended up with 3 tore up race cars instead of 3 race cars put together to go racing anytime we wanted to go race. So we've got one of them completely back together. That's the one that I've ran for the last 2 weekends, and plan to run again this weekend. And then I just picked up my other car last week, which is my nephew's car that he's going to run Charger with. And I just went yesterday to Rogers and dropped off my last one to be repaired. So we're headed in the right direction. We've been back at the racetrack. We've been turning laps, and God knows me and my guys, we've definitely missed it. And we've got a lot of learning left to do. And I felt so confident to just get the wind knocked slam out of us and basically have to start from scratch again, because we had so much of a notebook, and now we're having to build that notebook back up. But luckily, we've been able to go to Goodyear and turn around and go back to Caraway, which is my hometown track, and was able to bring home a win at Goodyear through, like you said, technicalities of the tech shed, but a win's a win, and I'll take it no matter what. And I literally, whenever I was talking to you on the front stretch, I was just about out of voice. I think I yelled from the time I turned off of turn 4 and seen the checkered flag waving. I knew that I had the chance. I was yelling all the way back around to victory lane. So I was pretty pumped to come back in and honestly win our second race back racing. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for everybody that's backed me in this situation and everything that's happened in my life and everything that's went down. And I've got really good people on my side, and I've gained more and I've lost some. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably one of the best parts of my life is to be back racing.
Yeah, and I could definitely sense that there's a humbleness about you. Never saying that there never was, but I think when you go through something in life that is, traumatic, when you go through things in life that are traumatic, and there's courses of your life and events in your life, I think it makes you take a step back and you look at the bigger picture, and you look at how fragile life can be, especially with you guys being race car drivers. I mean, you guys, it's like what Father Squire, what Alan Bestwick said a couple of weeks ago in Indianapolis when we had him on here. It's regular people doing extraordinary things. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and bottom line is a lot of people can't do what y'all do as race car drivers, Ross. And I mean that on the NASCAR level, to those that are at Berlin getting ready for Money in the Bank with Jeff Striegle over there, or running on NASCAR to Cup to Truck Xfinity on the touring side of things, or being a weekly late model racer. It takes a amount of just guts and cojones. I was trying to say it in a very nice way, to get out there and do what you guys do, and
yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you.
When you go through something like a wreck, and it sidelines you, and it not only hurts you on your body, Ross, because the old cliche is cars can be replaced, bodies can't. But to rebuild that and rebuild up your funding again to have a good race car, that took a lot of time for you guys. And I mean, you really came around in like less than 90 days.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those deals where that's all I heard. At least you're okay. You can't be replaced. Those race cars can be replaced. But you and I just talking about, I mean, the world that we live in right now, there ain't nothing that's cheap. And when it comes to your hobbies and stuff, it's hard for you to put money in your hobbies whenever your business is suffering just a little bit too. And right now, thank the Lord that our business is doing okay, and that we're making good money and everything else. And I pray for all the people that's out there that's not doing okay right now, and hopefully that things can turn around everybody can be okay again. But I mean, it goes back to, you know, the people that I have in my life and the people that back me through this situation. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever we actually got that car back together and went to Caraway and shook it down, and the dirt was still in the front stretch from the monster truck show, and we had to park on the back stretch. And that immediately felt weird to me because I've never showed up to Caraway to test and had to park on the back stretch. And so we was there, and then to climb back in that race car after coming out of that wreck, I mean, honestly, it was one of those moments where it was like, is this going to really happen, or am I going to be scared to do it? And my brother-in-law, my sister, and all them, they was like, we're really interested to see, you know, where you put yourself, what positions you put yourself in. I feel like you're not going to put yourself in positions to do that thing. Like you was announcing it, the 3-wide racing at Dillon, and the other stuff that I've done over the time, like so fearlessly, like, and I've never had that fear of you know, hey, if I do this, we're gonna tear a race car up. But you know, I'm not gonna say that I don't have that fear. I've always had that fear just because we are and we race on a budget, but in the back of my mind, I'm also not gonna let that fear overrule us winning a race. So, I was really, really, really worried of what that was gonna turn out once I got put into a racing situation. And the initial green flag lap at Goodyear, when they dropped the green flag, I qualified 4th, I think, and when they dropped the green flag, we was 3 wide off of 2, and I was in the middle. So, you know, I never once checked up. I mean,
so it's like literally you go right back. Here we go again. It's like Dillon all over again, right back in a race car after being injured in a 3 wide.
I mean, literally. I mean, as soon as we took the green, we come off of 2, and it was definitely something that went through my mind. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, here we go. We're gonna tear up another race car on lap 1. And first race back, you know what I mean? So it was one of those deals where my mind slowed down enough to think, you know, this is it. This is, you know, here I am putting myself in positions again to mess something up. And I'm not saying that I've healed completely mindly from the wreck. And I think probably one of the best things that could have happened to me is I don't remember the wreck. So I think that might be one of the best things for me as a racer. So
again, we're with Ross Dalton. We're in our final minutes here on Finish Line. He picked up a big win 2 weeks ago, Memorial Day weekend at Goodyear. That was due to a technicality. Supposedly, Rusty Daniels had won both races. Second race, he got threw out. They gave the win to Boo Boo Dalton. And then, of course, he picked up the win in the late models along with Donnie Apple at Caraway this past weekend. Of course, hey, I'd be hard-pressed to say, Ross or Boo Boo Dalton, you got a big race coming up in a few weeks, Caraway Speedway, the Rusty Hart Memorial. I know how much Rusty meant to people in this racing industry in this part of the country, primarily at Caraway and Ace Speedway. How special would it be, and are you going to be there Wednesday night for that Triple 99 main event to try to win that race?
Absolutely, yeah, I wouldn't miss it for nothing. Just for the fact that we're racing on Wednesday night, I think that's badass in itself. But you know, I wouldn't miss it for nothing. That's one of the races every year that's just like the Rodney Cook or the Martinsville race. You know, it might not have as much prestige as some of these guys thinks it does, but whenever you win the Rusty Hart Memorial at Caraway Speedway, that's a pretty big deal. Darren and Russell, Rusty did a lot for that racetrack. He was a hard-nosed competitor, and he showed up to that place and paid his pit pass just like every other racer had. And so to win that thing, that's pretty special. I don't think that I've ever won it, so I definitely want to win it. And hopefully we can get this car finished dialed in, and we can be there at the end of them 99 laps.
We had Donnie Apple on before you, and of course he won the late model race, previous race. What did that mean to you? I mean, obviously, you were kind of in the back, and you were right there within the top 5, and you're seeing Donnie Apple and Coy Beard go at it. How special was that to see a veteran guy so respected as he's been in the industry from the NASCAR level to short tracks, winning a race for the first time in 16 years?
I learned a lot about Donnie just joining in and listening to the tail end of that deal when y'all was talking. I sadly to say, I did not know that Donnie has done as much as he had. I knew that he had some very high credibilities to racing, and I knew that he'd been in racing for a while and stuff. And Donnie is absolutely one of the coolest people on pit road. I mean, you could ask him for anything and he'd give it to you. And me and Coy, we go way back. I mean, I grew up racing at Caraway, so I mean, Coy's one of the best that's ever come through there. So, to sit there on the front stretch third with Donnie Apple and Coy Beard in front of me in the first race, like I didn't hang my head. I was on the same straightaway as them, and we actually ended up with the right rear tire flat. So for us to finish third right there after the first race to Donnie and Coy, and I knew that they were really, really tight, and I mean they tied qualifying time. So I mean they're really good.
They flipped the coin, by the way.
Yeah, that was pretty cool in itself. And so to finish third right there, that was pretty good. And I knew that we had a good race car. We was really good all day, and I knew that the tire situation held us up a lot in the first race. So I was really eager to get our spare tire on there and see what we could do for the second race, and turned out to the good, and it was really good to come home with a trophy.
So listen, let's recap. They tied in qualifying on the clock.
Yeah.
Officially, Coy Beard was going to be given the pole because he was the fastest of like 1,000th of a second on the decimal. It was like an 18.369.4 to an 18.369.7. So they go down there for the pole award presentation, and he goes down to Allen and he says, "We're going to flip a coin." And I'm like, "You what?" He's like, "We're going to flip a coin to decide who gets the pole." So they flipped the coin, and sure enough, Donnie Apple got the winning toss, and they put him on the pole. When he got in front, he never looked back. Now, what I find interesting is and I think I said this on the broadcast on Saturday night, in my 26 years of calling motorsports, I've never seen somebody change a tire during the podium interviews, and that's what your crew did. Y'all changed, I think it was a right front or a right rear tire after you interviewed in the top 3. Yeah, the right rear tire. And literally, Charles, they are jacking up the car with the tire, with the jack, with the air wrenches, and changing a tire right there at Victory Lane at the top 3 podium interviews. And I'm like, I've never seen anything like that before. For sure. Hey, whatever it takes, right?
That was a brand new tire with 35 laps on it. You know how the tire situation is right now. So to see that tire with 35 laps on it going down, like that sucked. Like, we didn't know how we would overcome that, but it all worked out. We was able to get a spare approved, and thankfully we had a tire that was decent enough we could put on the left rear and move some tires around to make it all work. So it all worked out, and just like I said, man, I'm just so thankful to be able to come home with a win.
So listen, Ross, we're coming up on the top of the hour. We've got to get off the air because I've got something to do, and my producer in Texas has to go to also something important as well. I do got one more question for you, and I'll let you go and segue that into your sponsors. MPM Marketing, longtime friend of mine, Tanya McAllister, Lonnie LaPlante, what they've done in the racing industry, what they've done sponsoring Finish Line since we've ever started on the radio and now in video form. What has she done to your career since you jumped on board as a client with MPM Marketing?
I'm gonna tell you something, buddy. Tanya McAllister is the real deal. Like, there's nothing about her that is not real. She makes sure that every single body that cares anything about Ross Dalton racing knows what Ross Dalton is racing and when they're breathing and when they're not. And I'm gonna tell you something. Partnering with her was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, because it took a stress off of me that I wasn't fair to my fans with, because I was so busy worried about racing and everything else in my life that people didn't know where I was and what I was going to do next. And so with Tanya, I don't know how she does it, but she can read my mind before I ever even say anything. And there's so many things that she does and does for me that is unannounced and unthanked. And I just got to say thank you to her now so that she can see. And I know she's probably watching. She watches everything. So I just got to say thank you to her and all of her team and everything that they do. And Michael and Lee Falk, they got us hooked up with her. And I know that they're big with her. And I just got to say thanks to them guys. I've got to say thanks to Hudson Auto Works. Josh Hudson has definitely changed my racing with all that he does. Ruth Signs, they make sure that the race car stays looking as sharp as it possibly can. Neil and John Umble, they're the best in the business. Clark's Automotive Racing Engines, Rayvon Clark, he's my main guy. Wesley Page Shock, Slugnut, thank you to him. Oh, God, who else? Pigman, Richard down at G4 South. There's so many people, man. I hate going into this because I know that I'm going to forget somebody that's important. But, you know, there's so many people. My mom, my dad, my sister, my family, the crew members, Matt, Doug, Ronald. I mean, there's so many people that makes this whole deal go in circles like it does. And without any of them, it would never happen. So I just got to say thanks to them. Thanks, like I told Doc Love the other night when I was on the phone with him, thanks to y'all for doing what y'all do, because it gives us racers something to look at, read about, talk about, hold our pride, hold our head up high, and have something to brag about all week long till we have to go back to the next racetrack the next weekend.
Now, listen, at the end of the day, we try to make you guys out to be rock stars because, you know, you guys are doing great things.
I ain't no rock star.
Well, you might not be a rock star, but definitely the things that you guys do, you definitely deserve the accolades and some acknowledgement for it. So, hey, look, I got a tweet coming in. Are you going to come back to Wake County Speedway anytime soon? Somebody said, is he going to come back Friday night? When's he coming back?
It won't be this Friday night, but it will be very soon. We've got the All-Pro Limited Late Model race this weekend at Southern National, and then the Rusty Harp race. And then I've got another All-Pro Limited race somewhere. I think it's at Dillon. And then once I get through those three, I should have my other car back by then. And once I can get 2 cars in the stable, I'll come back to the county. But I'm not going.
All right, they're asking you. They're calling you out on Twitter. They're saying, "Where's he at? Where's Boo Boo at? Hey, Boo Boo, come back to the America's baddest bull ring, favorite bull ring." So,
I promise.
Hey, Ross, it is. Ross, I'm going to let you get back to work, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to join us here on Finish Line. And, of course, so proud of you to see where you've come, especially so quickly because, like I said, you know, sometimes these accidents, these things that we go through in life, sometimes it makes you mature very quickly and look at things differently for sure. It makes you realize not to take stuff for granted. So I'm proud of you. Thank you for all that you do in the industry, man. Be safe out there racing at Southern National. And thank you for taking the time to be on the show with us.
Yes, sir. Can't wait till next time. Thank you for having me.
That's right. That's right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Ross Boo Boo Dalton. And that is Finish Line. Cue up the music, Charles. Let's get out of here. You want to give any final closing thoughts, or are you just ready to get off the air?
Let's see. I just got one thing to say to close this for Mr. Dalton. I really would, I would love to know how much his wrap job costs, because with all them sponsors, he's got to have them like just all over the car. Like that's a lot of people to think. I didn't just forgot who they all were. But, he's got to have them, like, on the B pillar, the A pillar, the trunk, the hood. I mean, there was a lot of people that sponsor him.
By the way, Charles is in the background just saying.
Oh, no, I was not in the background.
Just thank everybody. Just say thank you to everybody.
I did say that.
That'll take care of everybody, all right? Just thank everybody. You know what? And I agree with you, Charles. There's a lot of people that are like, hey, just say thank everybody. You got everybody. But some of these sponsor guys, they're just like, well, they want to hear their name mentioned. And I get it. I mean, you get it, right?
No.
You want me to sponsor your drone? I want to have CRN mentioned as a drone sponsor, damn it. Just don't say thank everybody for the drone sponsor. So, hey, we're gonna get off here, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Finish Line. Great guest, Berlin Raceway in Michigan live. If not, Flow Racing. Thanks to Jeff Striegle. Corey Heim, I wish he could have been on here when he tried to reschedule back with us. We had already had our guests line up. Butterbean, Brenden Queen, Tyler Bear, Mr. Donnie Apple. A lot of troops coming from that veteran driver right there. Congrats to him. And, of course, Ross Boo-Boo Dalton. Get out there and support a racetrack. NASCAR this weekend at Sonoma, Wine Country, Road Course Racing, and so much more. Get ready for that dirt late model dream, $1 million to win. Flow Racing with coverage of that as well. iRacing, Crown Jewel, late model stock series from Hickory, throwback, 276 at 8 p.m. Eastern. For Charles Wooten, Jeff Stabdown, I'm Wesley Outland. That's Finish Line. We'll do it again next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's broadcast personality Wesley Outland, and for the second year in a row, the Community Radio Network is excited to also be the voice of iRacing on LSRTV every Monday and Thursday night with the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck. Join yours truly, Justin Prince and Samuel Dyer, every week as they race towards a championship. We're also on the radio in the Triangle in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area at 87.5 WCRN and anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. Click play. Check out the coverage, the power of radio to the imagination of the listener, esports style. We are the Community Radio Network, the voice of iRacing on LSR-TV. Check it out when you can, and replays are always up too.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.